everyone, and welcome back to another video. Last time we left off with Highway to Victory, showing the Soviets moving in towards Berlin, or bounding for Berlin. But we're now on to Slave Laborers Are Freed. March 1945, at a displaced persons camp. Men and women civilians who were used by the Germans as slave laborers line up for food at a center for displaced persons in Germany. Among them are Poles, Frenchmen, Russians, Belgians, and Czechs, freed by Allied armies pouring into Germany. Yeah, you're going to have a lot of this, obviously. Obviously, you know of the people that suffered the Holocaust, but there's obviously others that suffered as well. And like they said, you know, for a lot of conquered territory, a lot of those civilians were taken and they were used in factories, they were used on uh, farms sometimes, really depended. They were used pretty much everywhere to make up for the lack of civilians in Germany that they had. You know, they just used from others. So I gotta say, can I say this person does not look like they belong in this picture? Just something about them. Look at everyone around them, and then there's boom. It's mostly because they're not wearing a hat, so they stick out. See, there's another one. But the Yanks invade Okinawa, April 1st, 1945. Land on Ryukyu Island. Man, that was kind of hard to say. Soldiers and Marines of the American 10th Army stormed the west shores of Okinawa, after first making landings on smaller islands to the west. The ships on the map show the direction of these two operations, and the aircraft carriers indicate the support of Admiral Mitscher's carrier planes. The inset map pictures the relation of Ryukyu's to the Japs' home islands. So you can kind of see, there's Okinawa, there's the home islands. Okinawa is right there. Even today, there's an American base there. Super close. This is getting into those. These are like the main islands of Japan. You have Iwo Jima, Okinawa. These are considered a lot of the some of the main islands. They're smaller parts of it, but still. And you can see it's kind of more of a they're going in. Some are going a long way in and attacking in there. Obviously, you need these carrier planes here. That looks just like the one. Oh, there's the other one right there. You're gonna have air support. You're gonna have ground support. Okinawa is definitely hard to take. You know, like a lot of these islands, they're very mountainous. Japanese are gonna fight for them. For every inch of ground, they're gonna fight hard because they're considered this homeland, and they've been told by their government that the Americans are going to do horrible things if they get you. So they're going to fight to make sure that that doesn't happen. An Easter greeting for Okinawa. April 1st, 1945. Knocking at Tokyo's door. The guns of Admiral Sprunc's 5th Fleet cut loose at Japanese installations on Okinawa on Easter Sunday, April 1st, as the 24th Army Corps and the Marine 3rd Amphibious Corps stormed ashore, against negligible opposition. Landing on the west coast of Okinawa, which is 362 statute miles from the home islands, the troops quickly worked inland to seize Yontan and Katena airfields. It was the largest amphibious operation ever carried out in the Pacific up to that time. More than 1,400 ships were in the Armada carrier and land-based planes, as well as Superfortress participated. The 24th Army Corps was under Major General John R. Hodge, and the Marines were under Major General Roy S. Geiger. Inexplicably, the Japanese abandoned their strong coastal defenses and retired inland, where they later fought with their usual fanaticism. Yeah, this is kind of weird. You kind of wonder why they kind of give up some of these positions. It could be because of the naval guns. I mean, you have a lot of Americans landing on this, and maybe they thought the they say oh it's strong positions on the beaches, but maybe the Japanese thought no these aren't as strong as the Americans think they are, and so they give up land to go inland. Um, who knows? There could be lots of reasons. Or maybe they're worried about air-based troops landing in behind them. So many are reasons as to why this might happen. It's a little interesting. The Yanks land in the Ryukyus. April 1st, 1945. Beach party. The Okinawa landings were practically uncontested, to the amazement of Leathernecks who had fought on the blood-drenched beaches of Guadalcanal to Iwo Jima. Inland, however, the fighting was as bitter as any in the war. In these pictures, Marines are shown making their initial landings. Army troops also participated in the landings, as did naval personnel. You can see, obviously they're coming up, and a lot of these pictures are definitely taken a little bit later. And sometimes they're like a lot of these pictures in here are recreations of things that did happen. Um, Mostly because, yeah, they did have cameramen with them, but they didn't always take pictures. Now, in this instance, they might have taken a picture as the landings were happening. You know, if it's very uncontested, things like that, they might have been like, "Screw it, I don't feel in danger at all." Sparking the push through Germany, April 1945. It looks good to them. These high-ranking American generals in Germany are exultant over the spectacular success of their armies plunging into the interior of the Reich. Left to right, they are General Dwight D. Eisenhower, Supreme Allied Commander in Chief in the European theater. So yeah, he's a big dog. Lieutenant General George S. Patton Jr., Commander of the United States Third Army. Lieutenant General Omar N. Bradley, 12th Army Group Commander, and Lieutenant General Courtney Hodges, U.S. 1st Army Commander. Obviously, these are very big names. The Hodges sadly gets more forgotten about as time goes on, but it's just as important as these guys are. Obviously, Eisenhower is going to be one of those that even if, let's say, for a long time people maybe forget the whole war thing, he was a president, so he'll be remembered. Patton, probably one of the more famous generals of the American Army during this time, if not the most famous. And then Bradley, a lot of people know Bradley. He's also just as famous in some ways. Liberated Frenchmen smile again. April 1st, 1945. March of Freedom. It was a glorious Easter Sunday morning for these smiling, flag-waving, singing Frenchmen who were freed from a German prison camp by a cavalry reconnaissance unit of the United States Ninth Army. The Ninth Army, with the First Army, was exterminating the massed the massed German armies trapped between the two American forces and the Rhine River. Yeah, the French are obviously extremely happy to be free. They've been trying to fight off the Germans more covertly for quite a while now, try to stop them where they can, things like that. So to finally be free, the French are very happy. A potato masher is smashed. April 3rd, 1945. On the road to Nuremberg. So remember, I have to just say this now before I show this. This is just a recreation. It's not real. So everyone's aware. Remember, it's a recreation. As this Nazi ran across the street in Wurzburg, to hurl his potato masher at advancing Allies, he was shot down by an infantryman of the 42nd Division. The 7th Army pushed across the main south of Wurzburg to reach Bad Mergenheim, and advanced 15 miles southwest of Mannerheim. Other units had only 44 miles to go to reach Nuremberg. Yeah, if you don't know what a potato masher is, it's actually the grenade here. The German grenades they look like potato mashers, so that's what people call them. Makes a lot of sense, and yeah, you're going to try to throw those up at the soldiers, try to stop them. But yeah, but no, a lot of times this would happen. You know, troops try to get grenades in, try to do things. Sometimes you get a little gung ho and you end up getting shot to death. But pretty unfortunate for everyone when you could have just surrendered. But that's gonna do it for this video. If you guys liked the video, leave a like. If you have anyone else can improve these videos, leave a comment below. Let me know. I really appreciate it. And as always, subscribe. It really does help out the channel. Thank you.